welcome back. Now, knowing that today is the day that I start something new, and it's also somewhat of the long-running slot, needing some Patreon input and advice on what to see, and so with no actual input of my own, no decisions being made, this is what we're getting. So if you want to congratulate or condemn, you know who to blame. But as we are starting something new, might need to run over some ground rules again. One, make sure to check the links in the description. Full picture-in-picture versions are available, but if you do want to head over and watch those ones, at least keep the YouTube one open in the background so I can get a little bit of satisfaction out of it. It helps me more than you realise, and it means I can keep bringing you more. So, with that out of the way, a show which I know very little about. I think when it was brought up, there was probably about 3 character designs, and that's it, out of everything. I have been reliably informed that it is a show where I can sit back, turn off my brain, and just enjoy it. Don't think too hard, which usually means 2 things. Not all of them good. There have been plenty of shows before which fell down the same rabbit hole of just turn off your brain, and I've enjoyed them quite wholeheartedly, so we'll see. But for now, I'm sure you've looked at the title by now, and I'm not sure what the pronunciation is, even in English. So, let's get started with some Data Live. So, once again, it's something that I have so little knowledge of what's actually going to be accosting my eyeballs. It's starting already with a 30 years prior thing of the Mongolian border. And in case you can hear it in my voice, I am recording this while slightly, incredibly ill. Some liquid warping of the clouds, but some environmental factors. I liked the bit of effect when the rocks came up, but still. Well, that's going to take some rebuilding. Spacequake. And anyone in the just outside the immediate blast zone is going to be destabilized for years. Little bit of a tonal dissonance there. The fact that 150 deaths, the world destabilized. Have some boobs. Not the point I was going to make, but since you make that visual for me. So Spacequake, involving most of Eurasia being, if not upturned and made to move elsewhere, but it completely destroyed, 150 million deaths. How often are these I don't even know what you would call them. Massive are they explosions? Are they going to occur? Are we going to try and stop them forever, or is it just one of those phenomena where it just happens? And how connected is any of these characters going to be to it? Considering it was 30 years ago, what's the world like since? Was it only the one, or that was the beginning of the end? I don't think the world would be quite the same, or anyone be so happy-go-lucky in schools and will not still be around if it was. When she's tap dancing on his spine. Okay, we're getting. Don't think we need the three sizes, but we're getting splash screens of the characters. As thanks for that. Reminds me of the beginning of No Game No Life. Now, I mean, there are definitely better ways of being forced to get up in the morning. Why not just get an alarm clock? If you don't let me sleep for at least 10 more minutes. T-virus. I mean, let's hope the walls don't start closing in. Almost became a cottery sandwich. The art style changing for a dumb joke like that? Fine. Does that mean he can go back to bed now? I mean, she did hear the. Actually, made a barrier of the table. She did hear the effects of the T-virus, right? It was just tickle. Is he going to come off with a much more dangerous concussion after this, where she fights back? He's got it under control. He seems to be immune to the T-virus. A small Spacequake. 30 years on and there's no... small. 30 years on and there's no knowledge about what the Spacequakes are. And they all seem to be happening on the surface of the planet. Nicely animated bacon. I see. So it wasn't a problem, now it's coming back. For some reason, localized entirely within Japan. They're always getting the brunt of it, aren't they? Schedule. I mean, having sweets before breakfast. Something I would do, actually. Are they going out to eat then? This does seem like a very lively household. Is it one of those bits where the parents work away, or are they usual anime fashion, no longer in the picture? Danny's. So nothing would stop him from going to go eat. Come hell or high water, the destruction of the city itself. I would agree to that. Really? You're setting up those flags. Nice hair. So any sort of physical contact, and therefore Right, so we've got what are they called? Syscons, potential more than familial love. We've got getting a bit too friendly with your male friends, and stalkers in the background. Okay, I see where this show is going. Since about 8 o'clock this morning. I mean, if it works, is he going to try and actually use some of the things he's learning from this game in real life? Thank you for saving him from that conversation. Another splash screen. Who is this? She is so so has such little presence as to be forgotten about. Origami. So a real all-rounder, just a bit quiet and stalkery. And considering it's sitting right next to him, why has he got very limited memory? Just hasn't paid too much attention. It's because yes, New Year wouldn't have been with him before. I see now. Anyway, he's attracting a bit of attention. I think I'm going to somewhat enjoy the friend, though. He seems like the kind of butt of the joke, comedic timing character, or comedic relief character. I mean, just how much does he want to tear him down? Is it directly in the vicinity of that Danny's restaurant? It's kind of what? One word there I got. But what is that meant to be? Huh. Also, good to see that the safety shelters are for the infirm and disabled as well. Skeletons? I mean, I think everyone else is getting on fairly well. Just the teacher that's freaking out. She's still waiting for lunch. And one question I did have in my mind earlier is if these spacequake things are affecting the surface, the shelters that are down below, I'm guessing that actually doesn't get affected, no matter how big the blast. We saw that destruction of the city still only left somewhat of a small crater at the street below. And maybe there's just a shelter underneath the restaurant. Did you think about that? That's a fairly large one. How conspicuous him just almost being in the center of that. I think we've seen what's at the core of these space quakes. Also, what was the thing behind her? A chair, a throne, or something? Not one for greetings or introductions. Really taking the full view in front of him. He would rather get out of the immediate vicinity and just find his sister. But immediately thinking that they're here to kill them, does it look like he's putting up a fight? They, on the other hand, they might be there to do a little more than talk. I like the crumpling up of the missiles. So, I'm getting a Symphogear kind of vibe, which is another show I need to watch more of. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with us, then, sentence. But, so despondent. I mean, she might be sick of all the running and fighting. If everyone she meets wants to kill her on sight. Wasn't expecting the music to kick into gear. Just put a hand up to the barrel. Yeah, you can see why they'd say the fighting is futile if you just ignore any shots like that. No wonder she had to leave suddenly once the bells and warnings started flashing. Thanks for that shot. Totally necessary for the choreography of the fight. But considering how one-sided it was with the shutdown of all the attacks earlier, she's keeping up quite well with hand-to-hand combat. All he wanted was some pancakes. Target is lost. Can't fight. Excuse me? Too close. Just back up a little. A little possessive. I think that one needs a little sleep. Okay. And where exactly is this age? Best left unknown. So being caught in the fracas like that. They found her as well. Will there be some sort of briefing or debriefing for him? It seems to be one of those kind of places. it started with him just going to school and trying to have lunch with his sister, and now we got some military operation going on here. Definitely no more sweets before breakfast. What the hell is this? So they're fighting back against the spacequakes and whatever they may be. We, the audience, now know that this is caused by spirits, but the wider public at large, we have no idea what's going on. Slight shift in personality here. He's one of those. He enjoys it. Um, I think he took a bit, bit more of a knock during that fight than he realized. Might be a lot of concussion going on. Which she only the slow crawl back. Is the happy-go-lucky sister act only what this in private? This is her work attitude. But also, are they just synchronous with the explosions or causing them themselves? If it's we come here to kill the spirits because they're causing the space quakes. Anti-spirit team. Okay. And why, pray tell, are they slightly scantily clad schoolgirls? Is that also necessary for the fight back against the spirits? Like nothing else, nothing has happened. He didn't even do anything. He is ascending. Right. Okay. Well, at least that sequence of events wasn't. I said I said that she'd be in a maybe in a shelter beneath the restaurant, but not directly above it. That would explain why those AST team came from the skies. Is he recuperating after the battle? Not wearing the full armor now. Still struggling to see what his role in all this is actually going to be. And everyone just gets on like normal. Yeah, she needs some rest. Just leave her there. Get her a pillow or something. It's going to make physics lessons interesting. And is it the fact that now that he's on board, it's probably easiest if they're close by? Uh-huh. There's no feet licking going on here. going to VR training mode where he can actually just learn everything properly. What was with the... Why don't we ask the expert? Go talk to his friend again. Shido. Right. Okay. Was it the spoken word? Is this the ending? Or just the introduction to the game? They could put a little more effort into the voice acting for this game. Exterminate with weapons. That's what they were trying. So we're going for a different route, is it? Is that why he's here? What's with the wipe just now? What was that? So fighting back just caused more devastation. So now he's got to get on their good side. Well, it really does depend on how many Spacequakes and whatnot there are. I'm guessing he has no right to decline this mission. Does he get statutory danger pay? And why him? Do they not have anyone a little more adept at it? He wishes he could. I think that's as much as she's willing to talk about. And if there was a Spacequake 30 years ago and then nothing for 25 years after that, does that mean the first one, someone accidentally found how to... Someone accidentally found out how to placate these spirits, and then it just went wrong in the past half a decade. There are definitely some things in this world which I wish did come with more tutorials, but still... I hope that the series is going to be more like the middle part of this episode than the beginning, if you know what I mean. But I feel, considering the nature of his mission, the make all the spirits fall in love with him. Hang on. Did I add that word in? Was it all? Or just that one? Also, is this ending going to update with more characters the further on we go? Considering the opening, we got a few other designs being shown off. And I wouldn't mind a massive pillow like that. I wonder if the spirits can just attend school normally. Again, with like the Great Escape kind of music here. Not what I was expecting. I don't think I'll be watching the previews going forward, though, considering it's nothing but preview. I will say, considering the title of the show and the warning I got just turned off my mind, I was expecting the worst. Especially after the first 5 minutes of the show. But it actually carried itself kind of well for the rest of it. Without the so heavy overtones of sibling bonding that we got at the beginning, it wasn't too bad. I kind of liked the world building they got. The fact that the entire Earth is kind of screwed with these space quakes. Sure, it's mainly situated around Eurasia and now definitely around Japan. I feel as though we might get something a little more explanatory about what's actually going on, considering the first one, 150 million deaths. These ones are very kind of small, localized space quakes. So why was that initial one so massive? What brought the spirits here? Why are they in battle dress? Understanding why they think that they're constantly being attacked and everyone's after them, considering that is what's going on. And to be fair, I think that would be the natural reaction. If there was something like that that occurred here, it would be whatever's at the centre of it, that caused it, that's dangerous. That's gotta go. We can ask questions later. But considering he's already made an in, the fact that, no, I'm not trying to kill you. What the hell are you on about? Oh, okay, cool. There's a line of dialogue open there now. One of his many save states. I didn't like that path. Reload. But unlike any visual novel, you can't just reload saves and when decisions and mistakes are made. Especially when it's a little more dangerous considering the destruction of the city and loss of life. Trying to talk to people normally is a pain and a half. While not trying to get your house blown up, that would definitely put a little more strain on any sort of small talk. But I have always thought that in worlds like this where you do have, oh no, the chance of destruction, our livelihoods are vaporized. Let's hope you got insurance for it. But in a world like that where running down to the shelters and whatnot is a normal occurrence, they've probably held drills for it quite often. The fact that they can go back to normal, so everything's fine, continue with your lessons immediately after. That's a kind of resilience which is kind of nice to see. Horrifying that it's needed, but nice to see. But now that we have the premise of the show, you've got to getting good with these spirits. When he actually starts talking to them, I'm guessing there's going to be one or two mishaps along the way. Is the AST team going to have to get involved and track it down again and cause more of an upset and issue? Is there going to be some that are probably against the whole, don't worry, we can have a dialogue with them? I have to see. Surprisingly, this has actually caught my interest more than it probably should. Maybe because I like a good apocalypse story. It seems like it could be close. Still, if I've entertained you for this episode, let me know. If you found anything endearing, funny, or never seen something so aggravating in your entire life, whatever it may be, let me know down below. If you want to see more of Data Live, definitely leave a like on the video, maybe even subscribe so you don't miss when the next one gets uploaded. But for now, try and get yourself a bit of rest, whether it be above, below, or in Danny's itself. Try and stay safe. Many, many questions. So little time. I'm not sure if I want all of them answered. Is the little sister going to go back to playing the same routine that she was before being found to be the vice chancellor of this organization? Or is this now just, you've seen it. No longer need to pretend to be nice. One way to find out is to watch the next one. So, get some rest, so I can see you there. I'm so lucky that I'm not forced into any sort of social interaction, because then the world would likely be destroyed. Instead, I can just sit down, watch some anime, and become the deviant that you all want to see. So I do need to thank Noku, Sal, Croyville, Ruben Filamala, Guado, Kite, Raywin, Lightwizard91, Shiwan, Tori Jane, and everyone else for setting me on this route. And if you would like to see the leftovers of the devastation that follows, consider joining onto my Patreon as well and keep the channel going.